in those large numbers.
So Aman, what is the BJP's explanation for why in those middle class pockets we have the lowest voter turnout? Why?
It seems like a urban apathy is there. We have seen it in Maharashtra also, despite voter turnout going up in Mumbai seats. Still, it was below 60%. So urban apathy. EC tried it best. Kept a poll on a Wednesday, a working day.
But there is one thing that we must all not lose sight of. Yesterday evening, of course, all the data was put out, right, by the Election Commission. Now, some people said it was a bit late in the day, this, that, the other, whatever. It came out at around 8:30, 8:45 at night.
Yeah.
Now, this is the reason why I've been talking about the woman voter, because she outvoted the male in Delhi. So this time, for the first time, the woman voters surpassed the male voter.
But they usually tend to. I mean, if you
This
look
is
at
the first
other
time.
state elections, also in Maharashtra and all, we did see
in
women
Delhi,
voters come out.
Yeah.
In Delhi. And when I went to many of these areas, like I was going to New Delhi constituency the day of the polling, Jangpura, I was really surprised that I did not find the booth workers of, say, the AAP very much around. Or Congress was there a little bit, not there. Even the BJP was more out. They were certainly very aggressive. And those figures we're talking about, Selampur, the minority-dominated areas. But not just in Delhi, but if you look at in other state elections, I have found, like in Bengal, again, my home state, substantial amount of minority voters who are actually going to be always play an important part in deciding the results. They always go out in very large
40
numbers.
seats had more women participation than men. And these seats are concentrated in South, Southeast, Central, Northwest and Southwest Delhi. So broad swath of the South, Central and Northwest, where overall voter turnout has been less.
Which is extraordinary in and of itself, because if you look at the number of electors, the number of voters, there were 81 lakh men and 72 lakh women. So which means if much more women have turned out than the actual number of electors, then I think that is a big thing. There's another 9 lakh.
Schemes also have been announced for women. So I
and
guess
guess
they have an
which-
incentive to go out and vote.
Which seat had like the most? It was Okhla, 5% more than men. And women electors in Badarpur, Tughlakabad, and we can plot that, Kalkaji and Sangam Vihar constituencies that were all held by the AAP, right, came out proportionately more than men by at least 3 percentage points.
Yeah, the
So
data.
now, I mean, I don't know. And in Greater Kailash and Vishwasnagar, the turnout was the same.
Same. So in
As
this
per the-
case, let me ask you this: if the women voter has come out in more numbers than the male voters compared to 2015 and 2020, at a time when the voter turnout is actually 2% lesser than 2020 and 7% lesser than 2015. So then, who is the male disgruntled
Well,
with?
as I told you,
Who is the male disgruntled with? So
It's more like the women are disgruntled with the men in the house, therefore they turned out to vote.
someone turned out to work.
Remember Arvind Kejriwal's appeal just before the polling? He said that if more women come out and vote, I will win. It's very clear. The data I have, as Rahul is saying, 41 assembly seats in Delhi. Yeah. The woman turnout is more than the men voters. Overall voting percentage 60.54%. Women have voted at 60.92% and men at 60.21%. So I think Arvind Kejriwal is banking a lot. And as he was saying,
what was the number? What was the number that you
60
said?
points.
The 60.92% is the average turnout of women against men 60.21%.
So
almost
the difference is less than 1%.
Yeah, but where?
But 1 minute. 60%, 60.25% of 80 lakh base.
Yes.
And under 61, under 61.92% of 72 lakh base. Even then, the male voter is in absolute numbers greater than the woman
That's
voters.
not what he's saying. He's saying
you see
across
what I'm
Delhi,
saying
the
is-
number of women
Yes.
voters is more.
In
You see,
40
it
seats.
might be that men have uniformly come out,
Correct.
but women might have actually come out
In
as I
concentrated
said,
clusters,
in at
you're
least
saying.
8 or 9 constituencies, significantly higher levels than
So
men.
these are the ones that you're talking about. So Kalkaji, where the chief
There you
minister
go.
is fighting from, Badarpur, the neighboring constituency. You have one of the constituencies which the BJP had won last time around, Tughlakabad. Then you have a whole bunch of these constituencies in sort of the outer south part of Delhi, where 4 or 5 cluster constituency, Okhla,
Yes.
where Amanatullah Khan is the...
And these are also, some of these areas in South Delhi are also the poorer areas. These are not the ones, except for
This
Greater
is not
Kailash.
Greater Kailash.
These are some of the ones with high concentrations of what is known as low income group housing. So
Women have decided the mandate in favor of the BJP in MP in Maharashtra. Many believe they had a key role to play even in Haryana. But will the women actually come out and help Kejriwal, or more importantly, the Aam Aadmi Party score a hat-trick? That's another big question. We'll go across to our reporters in just a bit, but this is what I was talking about. Now, look at the BJP's voter performance, assembly to assembly. If we look at each of the assembly elections, the BJP's vote share has not slipped so much. It's not fluctuated so much. It's actually on a steady rise. And they've tried to be as consistent. Now, if you look at the assembly to assembly numbers, now I'll have a look at it. Can we just go closer and go full frame on this? And we'll have a look at the numbers. Year after year, 2013, the BJP is at 33%.
38 band.
And then, yeah, dekhiye na. So 33, 32%. But 2020, they were at 40%, sir. The BJP was at 40% in 2020. And Lok Sabha to Lok Sabha also, they've gone up. In the last decade, they have reached the 50% mark. And last two Lok Sabha elections, they've consistently been above the 50% mark. Whereas the Aam Aadmi Party, if you look at it, 29, 33, it went to 54. But in the Lok Sabhas, it's seen a drastic fall. And it's retained the same 54% in 2015 and 2020%. The Congress keeps fluctuating up and down, and it's steadily on the decline. But what happens is, Vidhan Sabha to Vidhan Sabha, the BJP is not losing voters. It's being outvoted by the AAP supporter.
It's an en bloc shift. If
Correct.
you see en bloc shift, those who vote for Mr. Modi or say BJP in Lok Sabha, same bloc goes to the assembly to
No, sir. If you look at it, there is a 14% swing vote. There is a 14%, 12 to 14% voter who loves Kejriwal and Modi. So at Vidhan Sabha, they swing towards Kejriwal, and at Lok Sabha, they swing to Modi. But there is a 38, 39% or nearly 40% voter base for the BJP, which now steadily increased. It was to be 32, 33%. It's come to 38, 39%. And it remains with the BJP
forever on.
Yeah, at Vidhan Sabha and at Lok Sabha. So now it's for
that's
the
a nationwide phenomenon.
No. But Delhi, sir, Delhi, we've got
phenomenon.
Delhi is critical because, like we showed the numbers, sir, 2008 to 2015, there is a 10, 12% addition in the total number of voters in Delhi. And that's because of the AAP. Now, if those voters feel disenchanted with the AAP, but they don't want to vote for BJP or for the Congress, then they may not have come out to vote. So where the story plays out is not just in the voter turnout, but also in the pockets where the voting has happened. Let's just go across to our guests quickly. Akash Sharma joining us from tracking Parvesh Verma. That's a three-cornered fight there. Parvesh Verma versus Arvind Kejriwal versus Sandeep Dixit. So Sharon Elizabeth is tracking Sandeep Dixit. Arunima is at the Aam Aadmi Party office. So pehle aapka mahol jaan lete hain. Yes, Arunima. Good morning to all of you. Yes, Arunima.
Morning. So Aam Aadmi Party, 1 Canning Lane is where their new office is, and just outside a huge stage has been set up. I think they have prepared for Arvind Kejriwal's victory speech here. It's a huge podium. They've put up lights, etc. So from the time when Arvind Kejriwal first won Delhi, I remember from the tiny office, Kumar Vishwas was with him, Ashutosh was with him. That was the time when the AAP core team, Prashant Bhushan and all were still together. They peeped from the balcony, from that little office near Hanuman Mandir, and Aam Aadmi Party leaders declared that they were the winners of Delhi. From there to this very, very corporate style event management, Aam Aadmi Party has come a long way. But today they're also holding their horses. I think the leaders are expected only about 9:45, 10 a.m. after the first set of leads come in. Manish Sisodia, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, in all effect, the number 2 in the party. He's gone to the Swaminarayan Mandir this morning and offered his prayers to the god. Arvind Kejriwal is also at his residence. All the other leaders, Saurabh Bhardwaj, Atishi, they're expected to go offer their prayers at Kalkaji Temple as well. And before they move to the various counting centers. And from the volunteers here, the sense that we get is that is going to be their big thrust, to be at every counting center. They've kept a very close vigil at the strong rooms as well. There were specific instructions given as to how the polling agents should be keeping an eye while the voting was on. Then the vigil shifted to the strong room, and now even at the counting center, you must have seen Arvind Kejriwal's tweet yesterday about Form 17C, saying that EC has not put it out, but we are putting it out on a website. So they're keeping a hawk eye on the counting process because that is their pet peeve, that Election Commission is biased against the opposition. In this case, the ruling dispensation in Delhi, but the national level opposition.
Well, is that also an indication of the pressure the AAP is feeling this time around? 10 years into the big election that is in 2015, where they really rose to prominence after what happened in 2013.
Just as an aside, so all political parties have got new offices now. So the AAP's office is on 1 Canning Road. Lord Canning was the first Viceroy of India. I don't know how that plays out for the Aam Aadmi Party. So this is the first election that they're fighting from a new party office. I remember in 2013, the very first assembly election, they jumped onto the scene. They had this tiny office in West Patel Nagar. I mean, it was more like, it was not even a house. It was not even a residence. It was like a little one-story building. And Arvind Kejriwal,
makeshift kind of an
it was a
office.
makeshift kind of. Yeah, Raviji knows this very well. And now to come to, the 1 Canning Road where the first Viceroy of India sort of lorded over. Let's see if the new office turns out to be lucky for Aam Aadmi
Akash
Party
is
or
tracking. Akash is tracking Parvesh Verma. Sharon Elizabeth is tracking Sandeep Dixit. Lord Canning, not very popular person there. He's been associated with doing a lot of aspects.
The 1857 rebellion happened when Canning was
and
the
he
Viceroy.
initiated a lot of movements that also work towards brainwashing Bharat. So, creating and trying to finish Bharat culturally and with respect to its educational base, everything is attributed to Lord Canning. But anyway, let's come back to this. And they said that we cannot conquer this place unless we finish it culturally. That's what his thought process was. But anyway, we are not saying that Arvind Kejriwal mirrors that. We just wish all the parties all the best based on what the voters said. This is the panel. This is how our election screen is going to look. In a short while from now, you would see the numbers start trickling in and you would see the leads. Somewhere around 8:15, 8:20 is when we are hoping that the first set of actual real numbers will start coming in, not the ones that are boosted, inflated, etc. To the left of me and to the right of your screen, these are the exit poll numbers. What will also happen is slowly we'll start giving you constituency-wise data, some of the key race alerts, big faces, where they are leading, trailing, etc. That would come here. On this side, we've broken it down, not just basis the 70 constituencies, but you would also see the clusters. So the Jhuggi cluster, the middle class voter, the Mahila voter, where are the votes coming in and which are these areas, Central Delhi, South Delhi, the various pockets, regions. So that's East Delhi. So out of 10 seats, who's winning what? So you would get an idea of where the votes for a particular party are also coming in, or the seat share, if it's a hot contest, where they're coming in. And then obviously we will take that into the magic wall with Zaka here for the real-time analysis. So this is how it looks. And then you'd see the halfway mark right above with the top headlines and the top lines takeaways. So that's how the election screen will look here at CNN News 18 on Result Day Live. Over to Akash Verma. Akash, where is Parvesh Verma now?
Right, Anand, it is Akash Sharma.
Akash Sharma.
Right
So the Sharma Verma confusion happened early morning.
Parvesh
But yes,
Verma's
Akash,
residence.
Parvesh kahan hai?
So New Delhi is a hot seat these elections, and we know that how everyone in BJP, in fact, is excited about the results on this particular seat. I'm standing outside Pravesh Verma's residence. It's all silent here. It is also because Delhi BJP office is not very far from here. So all Karyakartas who are coming here are directly going to BJP, Delhi unit. And in fact, we are learning that Pravesh Verma is going to come out post 9:30, possibly after the trends. In fact, I messaged him and he said that I'll be coming post 9:30. His brother was here and he is saying that Pravesh is going to counting center post 9:30. This particular seat is important, and also we have an interesting question, Anand, and I asked the very question to the brother of Pravesh Verma. If at all Pravesh Verma is being considered, if at all he wins, is considered as one CM candidate also. To which they are, of course, replying that party will decide. But this is going to be very, very important given the fact that New Delhi, the total voter turnout was around 56%. We have seen in the past, and in fact, in these elections also, New Delhi constituency dominated the entire news coverage. So the seat is going to be very, very interesting. Sandeep Dixit, Arvind Kejriwal and Pravesh Verma. And some time from now, we'll get a clarity as to who is going to make leads and who is going to win this particular seat.
All three of them have a connection with the chief minister's birth. Two of them sons of former chief minister, one a former chief minister. So it's a three-way fight, of which two of them have said that the former chief minister will not win. The former chief minister has put his faith, reposed his faith in the Mahila voters, saying if the Mahila comes out and votes, AAP will win. Sharon Elizabeth, Sandeep Dixit is you're tracking him. Whereabouts is he? And the other question is, by what time should we expect results to start solidifying? Because Arunima says AAP leaders will come around 9:30. Akash is saying BJP leaders will also step around 9:30. Why this 9:30?
Well, it's totally in contrast what's happening here at Sandeep Dixit. What he's doing is that at 6 a.m. in the morning itself, he's on the go. He's already visited some 3 counting centers. This is one of the centers in Gold Market where he has in fact come, and he's talking to his polling agents, giving them the passes, making sure that the polling agents are in on time, because 8 a.m. is when the counting is going to take place. So tight security here at the counting center, and this is the 3rd counting center since morning that Sandeep Dixit is visiting. And a couple of multiple interviews which he has given, he has in fact said, only leader in the Congress party who has in fact accepted the exit poll, saying that yes, it's a fight between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi party, but winning Delhi was not the aim of the Congress party. They were focusing on around 15 to 20 seats. Those are the seats where they are going to give a tough fight to the Aam Aadmi party to regain their vote bank, and that includes Muslim and Dalit dominated regions like Matia Mahal, Bari, Chandni Chowk, Okhla. Apart from that, Bhawana, Badli, these are the areas where Congress are hoping that they are going to regain those seats which they had in 2013. So that was the focus. And like I said, Sandeep Dixit is on the go, and he is in fact inside right now. But from here, he'll be going to the other counting center within the New Delhi constituency. So he had an early morning today, and while speaking to the media, he said he is confident and he wishes all the best to all the other candidates of the New Delhi constituency.
Well, we wish everybody all the best. Out of 1.5 crore voters, 40% did not cast their ballot. That means nearly 60 lakh voters of Delhi did not go out and vote on the 5th of February. Will those votes perhaps could have made the difference between the victor and the vanquished as the dust settles on result day live? Think about it. We'll be right after.
Co-powered by that the seats will definitely reduce, but AAP is going to be winner and AAP is going to form the government. The only thing what Arvind Kejriwal is afraid of is Operation Loot Us, which has been happening not 1, 2, 3, 4.
अगर कंफर्टेबल नंबर आ रहे हैं तो फिर लूटस तो होगा ही नहीं सर. लूटस की बात तब आप करोगे जब आपको लग रहा है कि भाई बॉर्डर लाइन पे होगा.
And then there is looters.
हाँ, so if Delhi की जनता says what they have conducted over the last 5 years is Operation Loot Us, then AAP won't come into power. Sir, Smita Prakash and Rahul Verma. Smita Prakash.
Look, since all your guests have spoken on issues, let me just talk about the optics of campaigning. Something seems to have changed, in the first week of February. In fact, till the last week of January, every reporter who met with, and Pallavi and Aman will tell you this, that every reporter who met with voters and community leaders was under the impression that the Aam Aadmi party was ahead because BJP was late into the game in ticket distribution, and they seemed to be a divided house. Congress was hardly there. But Virendra Sachdeva, who heads the Delhi unit, he exhibited some kind of a quiet confidence, which many reporters was feeling that it's kind of misplaced. Jay Panda, who was looking after granular details, kept saying, "Abhi ruk jao, Abhi ruk jao." Now, towards the last week of January, senior leaders had been assigned districts. I mean, people to the caliber of Bhupendra Yadav. By the first week of February, you had Manohar Lal Khattar coming in. You had Naib Singh Saini for the Jat Haryanvi voters. You had Yogi Adityanath coming in, who has a universal appeal. Then they brought in the others, the chief ministers like Himanta Sarma for Assamese speakers, Telugu speakers met with Chandrababu Naidu, and then you had Purvanchalis ke liye you had Manoj Tiwari, Ravi Kishan,
Pushkar Dhami
then
was here.
you had
Pushkar
Bihar
Dhami was
Deputy Chief Minister coming in for more. So, Dhami was here. And then,
Kumaraswamy was also there.
again, I mean, look at how many Marathi speakers do you think there are in this
Fadnavis
city?
was also there.
Even then, you had Fadnavis, correct? Kumaraswamy had come in. So, Fadnavis, like exactly how many Marathi speakers? Yeah, a couple of thousands, but still unke liye bhi. And then you had Amit Shah and Modi, the big leagues coming in. Now the Congress could have done the same thing. Pallavi, you'll bear me out. They could have done the same thing. They could have got Sharad Pawar and Stalin to come in for Marathi and Tamil speakers. They could have got Kharge and Revant Reddy to speak with Telugu speakers. They could have got Sachin Pilot to speak to the Gujar, Rajasthani and the young voters, but nothing. They didn't bother at all. The Aam Aadmi Party got out Bhagwant Mann, but how much did you see Raghav Chadha campaigning? A couple of nukkad meetings and maybe 1 or 2 rallies, and that's about it. Where was Swara Bhaskar? They could have got Swara Bhaskar. Where was Jaya Bachchan maybe for the Samajwadi Party, you had Akhilesh campaigning? Why didn't they get her to come in? So, she could have come in and maybe campaigned for Atishi, who was looking a little flabbergasted that, Biduri comes in last minute and he was giving her a run for her money. So there was a lot that the others could have done. Aam Aadmi Party could have upped its game, but they still rely on that one icon they have, which is Arvind Kejriwal. So, people of this city have had it. They don't want this drama to continue with regard to, mujhe Operation Lotus aa raha hai, ye aa raha hai, wo aa raha hai. It's all done now, na? Vote has been cast. So when they voted, if you remember, Anand, there was that film, Jaane Bhi Do Yaro, Gutter Ke Liye Jiye, Gutter Ke Liye Mare. I don't know, it was probably way before your time.
No.
But, it's that
right
thing
around my
that people are sick and tired of living next to sewage, next to stinking sewage lines, garbage not picked up, stray dog menace. So while they might have sympathy for in 2013 elections and subsequent elections that the BJP machinery went after Arvind Kejriwal, all those things is fine, But the thing is that kitna sympathy, na? First, solve my problems, which is like living next to a gutter. Solve that. Solve the sewage issue. Solve the garbage issue. You cannot live next to stench 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
So, you compare Satisha in a role in a coffin doing nothing but still stealing the show there. So who plays that role in these elections, one wonders. But Rahul Verma, your thoughts?
Who's in the coffin? Who's in the coffin?
That's what I said, one wonders.
No,
Leave it
thank
to the
you so
viewers
much.
to
You
think
mean
about it.
literally the Aam Aadmi is in the coffin?
No,
If that's what you're
If you
insinuating.
go by what the Samajwadi is saying.
No.
Oh, okay.
See,
The EC is in the
EC is
coffin.
in the coffin.
Can I come in?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, Smita, quickly, and then Rahul. Yeah.
That's what Akhilesh Yadav said.
Well, the counting starts in less than 32 minutes from now, and the counting centers will be opened as we welcome you back here on Result Day Live. The conversation revolves around women voters. Have the women voters in absolute number, despite being about 12 lakhs lesser than the men in absolute numbers? So about 71 lakh women out of 1.5 crore voters, 80 lakh plus men. So there is a 10 lakh voter difference. Total number is absolute numbers, if my memory serves me right. But have they bridged that gap and have lesser number of men voted and have more number of women voted in concentrated clusters? Or is it a higher percentage of the 70 lakh women overall compared to a higher percentage of men voters out of 80 lakh? The absolute numbers will also matter along with the percentages. And that's where the conversation is. BTS, if I may say, when we were in that break. But we're counting down to Result Day Live. Zaka, this voter turnout, why is it so critical? Now, could this be where the game happens? Is it the AAP voter who's not come out to vote this time around? Or is it the BJP voter who's disenchanted? Where is the
other way of looking at it is, have more women voted for BJP vis-a-vis AAP? At the end of the day, whether women turned out or men turned out, they have to vote for certain political parties. So at least if you were to go by the Axis exit poll number, it seems to suggest for the first time in the last 15 years, the number of women who have voted for BJP has outnumbered the women who voted for Aam Aadmi Party by 2 percentage points. And in a small state like Delhi, it's just 70 seats. That 2% could make or break the fortunes of political parties. This is what Axis exit poll data is, that 2% more women have voted for the BJP compared to the Aam Aadmi Party. That has not happened in any of the last 3 election cycles. From 2013 onwards, number of women voting for the AAP has always been more than the number of women voting for the BJP. This is the first time if these numbers hold. The other one, which Rahul has also been talking about, is the Dalit voters who are in the slum clusters, the JJ clusters. So you have the Valmikis, you have the Jatavs, you have the non-Jatavs. Very, very strong vote bank, committed vote bank of the Aam Aadmi Party. If you look at the CSDS Lokniti post-poll survey from 2020, 67, that is 2 out of 3 Dalit voters voted for the AAP in the 2020 election. That's a stranglehold. It's almost like the numbers that Mayawati had in that voting class. But from 2/3, it has slipped to half. And that's a substantial fall. Not all of it is going to the BJP. BJP has gained 8 percentage points in that voting class. But if the AAP's committed vote bank, one of the critical committed vote banks of the Aam Aadmi Party, is showing signs of erosion, that is bad news for the AAP. So these are the 2 critical factors. To my mind, these 2 vote banks will decide the Delhi election. The women, have they turned up in larger numbers for AAP, or have they turned out in larger numbers for BJP? And the, for want of a better phrase, the underclass.
Well, very respectfully, I would just like to add that not all Dalit voters are poor or lower middle class, and not all upper caste voters are rich or upper middle class. So the caste and class does not necessarily actually combine. There are a lot of very rich Dalit voters also, just like there are very poor Brahmin or Savarna voters also.
Well, that's a 5 to 95 ratio.
So I'm just saying our electoral lexicon itself is, allows us to try and pushes us towards a certain perception. We look at it from a caste matrix, but we don't see that there is a class grouping also, that there is a urban rich, urban poor, and there is an urban-rural mix also which is coming here. So the Juggi clusters may be populated with people from all walks of life in terms of caste, creed, and community. But they may have a certain mindset because they have to have a certain level of income growth, etc. So that's another point. But could communities vote en masse in a particular manner? There are trends that show that. So can Dalits across the spectrum, irrespective of whether they are rich, middle class, upper middle class, poor, however they are, can they vote in one particular direction? That's perhaps another possibility and a way to look at it. The other part is that if 60% of 80 lakh men have voted, that is about 48 lakh out of 80 lakh. 61% is again 43 lakh women out of 70 lakh women. That's where we are looking at the numbers. That means women have come out in a higher concentration. So the male voter has also not come out to vote. There is a significant number of the male voter, 32 lakh male voters have not come out to vote. Why have they not come out to vote? Who have voted in the past, but this time they've not come out to vote.
See, Anand, I agree with what Zaka was saying. Woman voter and Dalit voter, these 2 are going to decide the Delhi election. Now, going by traditional logic, I think by what we have seen in earlier election about the woman voter, the woman voter rewards the party which gives it the benefit the first. So, you have the first mover advantage when woman voters. So, Kejriwal has that first mover advantage because he's given free water, free power, especially to the woman voters across Delhi. Second, I think the ace up Kejriwal's sleeve in this election is announcing the women scheme almost 2 to 3 months before the elections. Aam Aadmi Party going door to door and getting these forms filled by women. So women felt this form has been filled. We'll go and vote for Kejriwal. We'll start getting the money. I think where BJP missed a trick, most respectfully to the BJP, but I think where they missed the trick is cleaving this women scheme for very late in the manifesto. They maybe should have launched it much earlier, like in Maharashtra. They gave that scheme. They were in power, that of course they couldn't give it in Delhi. But I think where BJP has been telling me that women scheme, Kejriwal also heard, because though he announced it, he never actually gave the money. That was also because they couldn't launch the scheme in time. Kejriwal went to jail. He came out. So I think BJP is banking on that fact when they went to the voter saying 2100 bhi to nahi mila na aapko, to hum 2500 aapko denge. So I think woman voter, BJP is hoping.
Let's flip this out and say, why should the Mahila voter, as predicted by Access My India, as today's Chanakya and some of the others, why will the Mahila voter shift away from the AAP? Because if there is a shift, as Zaka showed, that if there is a shift that's on what basis will it happen? Yes, Rahul.
So first of all, let's just, someone came in right now and
Nikul
said
Patel
that,
is also with us. Good morning.
and doubted the data about turnout. Now, let me just break it down. Let's look at Badarpur, where the women voter percentage has been higher than the male voter percentage. This is not absolute votes we are talking about, okay? We're talking about as a percentage of total women voters, more women turned out than men. So, males, total number of males in Badarpur are 2,31,85 voters. They are on the voting rolls.
Right.
Only 1,13,000 turned out, which equals 55%. 55% of males turned out. Amongst women, which are 1,61,484, 94,566 turned out, which is 58%. So in Badarpur, 3% more women in proportion to the males, not absolute numbers, amongst women voters turned out to vote. So women voters have actually shown up in proportion to their large numbers in greater than males have in proportion to the total number of males.
I agree.
So this shows that women voters were more enthusiastic in Badarpur to get to the polling station. Why? That's now a million.
One second. Badarpur was a BJP seat, by the way.
Yes.
Ramveer Singh Biduri of the BJP is
so
one.
whatever. All I'm saying
I don't know what.
Remember
what
that
what
gentleman was
means.
also accused of, basically saying things which weren't quite good about women. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. The point is that in these constituencies, women have shown the desire amongst all women to go there and be counted.
See,
now, what that means, we don't know.
It'll also be interesting to see in 2020, how did Badarpur vote? What was the base of Badarpur in 2020? How many women came out to vote in Badarpur in 2020? Vis-a-vis how many men came out to vote in Badarpur? And if the overall equation is similar. Equation is similar, then it's okay. Otherwise, there will be a story there if the number of women voters also, even though they outnumber the men this time, has dropped.
By the way, it was a close contest in 2020. Ramveer Singh Biduri of the BJP won by less than 10,000 votes.
So you have to look at that.
So maybe the women might be the swing voter in that constituency. It was, like I said, a close contest. There were only 14 constituencies. So
3% of 65,000. Do the math. It's more than 10,000, I think.
Yeah. It's
So
more
more percentage of women voting, I think, is advantage Kejriwal. Whatever I saw on the field.
So it's advantage Kejriwal. Why? Let's come back to that question. Why would pollsters feel that women voters could shift away? Atishi is speaking.
में सफल हो सकती है ना हमारे पास पैसे की ताकत थी ना हमारे पास बाहुबल था ना हम धर्म की राजनीति करते हैं ना हम वोट बैंक की राजनीति करते हैं लेकिन दिल्ली के लोगों का प्यार था भगवान का आशीर्वाद था कि आज हम यहाँ तक पहुंचे और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि दिल्ली के लोगों का प्यार और ऊपर वाले का आशीर्वाद हम पे बना रहेगा।
आतिशी एग्जिट पोल देखकर बीजेपी अपना बिग बॉस डिसाइड कर रही है।
Well, so Atishi is saying we didn't have money power, we didn't have power of the administration, we just have people's power and the faith and the blessings of the Almighty, and we are hoping that the results or the numbers come in our favor. Now, there were a lot of different reactions to what Atishi has said, but we will leave it and come back to this conversation and say what is the reason why there are pollsters who predict that even the Mahila voter could shift away from the Aam Aadmi Party. What could be the possible reasons?
I don't know why the pollsters, are predicting that, but whatever ground experience I saw, Anand, I remember going to Seelampur to do a story, and I entered that colony, and there was no road. It was a complete muddy, we soiled our clothes while we are entering that street, and I climbed a ladder to go to the terrace of one house and speak to 4 or 5 women there. They all said everything is bad. They said road nahi bana hai, हाँ बिजली आता है उसका भी bill आ गया था एक बार वो भी वापस नहीं हुआ. They basically said that nothing is right here. And then I said, okay, then that means you're giving BJP a chance and we vote to Kejriwal ko hi dalenge. So that was the sentiment, I think, amongst the women in the ground, that things may be bad.
I'm sure you must have asked why.
He's the one, I asked them. He said, वो ही ठीक करेगा. अभी तक नहीं किया, but आके ठीक करेंगे. उनका MLA at least हमारे एरिया में आता है, काम नहीं करवा के जाता है, पर आता है.
What I found was, and why I'm not going to say that I don't think it's right to presume that all women voters have ended up voting for AAP. Because I think the BJP realized a little too late that perhaps they should have gone into the game earlier, which is why they started chipping at the credibility of AAP to deliver. Many areas where people would tell me, and women would tell me very openly that, he's itna helpless hai. अगर उनसे हो नहीं पा रहा है तो फिर हम क्यों उनको वोट दें? So that was another alternative, which the BJP tried to point out that, he may have made a promise to you earlier, but can he really deliver? Maybe we can do it. So it doesn't matter who came into a race. So we really don't know. I mean, I think it is a little too early to presume that just because the women percentage is higher, they ended up voting only for AAP.
See, the point is that no party needs to, the AAP needs to shore up and hold on to all its previous voters
Yes.
to get to a mandate which is similar to 2015 and 2020. The BJP or the Congress needs to just make inroads and chip away. So if each of them is able to chip away 10%, 20% from core vote bases or core supporters of the AAP, and also hope that some disenchanted voters will not come out to vote for the AAP. That's from the BJP and Congress's point of view. Then the AAP has a serious problem. So either ways, if the AAP is able to pull out its supporters and those who believe in Arvind Kejriwal and give that, so there may be a reduction in margins. But will that be just enough for the AAP to scrape through the halfway mark and get somewhere to 39, 40 seats? That's where we'll know in about an hour, in about half an hour from now. Yes,
important constituency,
yes.
Tughlakabad.
Tughlakabad.
17,965 other male voters there. 64,553 turned up. That's 54%.
Yeah.
86,829 registered female voters, 50,203 turnout.
Turned up.
77%.
77%.
Do the math on that. That means that women have actually wanted to be counted. Now,
Correct.
why? I don't know. Where
And
this
for
will go,
whom?
we don't know. And
yeah.
for whom? $1 million question. The EVM knows the answer.
Correct.
And of course, CNN News 18 will bring it first and most
Correct.
accurate.
But how many such constituencies? You're saying that there could be about 40 constituencies where the percentage of women turnout out of the base voters in those constituencies is higher than the percentage of male turnout as out of the base number of male votes in those respective constituencies. Now, which way would they have voted? That's one question. But I'm also thinking
40 is a large number
why
for
is that?
women to be
I'm
infused.
also,
I-
but Rahul, I'm also thinking
BJP also hopes
why
that
is the male voter disenchanted?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
This is-
male voters
now,
also count, right? They're huge numbers.
Is it
Why
because
have they not come out to vote?
working nose to ground? Is it because there have been wage losses because of pollution shutdowns, and therefore every day that the air is clear, they need to be there and work harder? I don't know. Longer
Whatever
hours.
reason why
Who
they should
knows?
come out to vote.
So,
No,
well,
nobody's
whole-
promising them 2500 and 2100. That's one.
No,
That's
yeah.
another reason. That's
What's
another
in it
reason
for
them
me?
not to
What's
come out and vote.
What's in it for me? Who's promising anything for me? Is that the
That's
case? Nikul Patel, quick question before we go to. All right, before we go to Nikul, let's go across to Griha. Griha is joining us from the live result hub. That's where all the results are going to come in. We're going to collate it, and you're going to put the real numbers here on our screens in real time. Yes, Griha. Morning.
Good morning, Anand, and good morning, everybody in the studios. It is a big day. Aam Aadmi Party, a cliffhanger election for them, and a prestige battle for the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is where we get the numbers. This is the live result hub, News 18 live result hub with most accurate numbers. Now, why are we saying that? Is because we have our reporters who are spread across all the 19 counting centers as far as Delhi is concerned, because all that 70 constituency data gets collated in that 19 counting centers, and our 22 reporters are at it. They'll give you the accurate numbers as and when they have it. These phones here, Anand, they begin to ring. And the moment our volunteers here get the numbers, they feed it here at the live result hub. And that's when you get to see the numbers on your screens. And then we get to know who really is having an edge as far as the Delhi battle is concerned. So we are all waiting for this area to start ringing very, very soon, Anand.
Thanks for that, Griha. And we'll swing back to you. She's got her running shoes on because she's going to be running around a little bit all across that live result hub to get you details from various constituencies. It's a localized election, more a bonsai state, as if I can quote Nalin Mehta, because it's a 50-50 between the elected representatives and, of course, the LG's office that guides most of the administrative powers, because it's the national capital and because it's Delhi. But these 70 constituencies have a story to tell in their own. It's a representative or a microcosm of all of Bharat. That's what it is. It's a big pot where all of Bharat is present, all communities, all castes, all regions are represented in Delhi, and all of them think in a particular manner. Arun Dhanta joining us from the BJP office. Anshul Singh is also joining us in a bit. Ananya will be joining us. Anvit will be at the AAP office in Kalkaji. But first to Arun Dhanta. BJP office में किस तरह की तैयारी है? Or are they also waiting till 9:30?
Well, see, Anand, right now I'm inside the Delhi BJP office, and that's the place where you will see the action today. And this place, exactly where I'm standing, you can see the screen is there. All the TV channels are there, and the spokespersons of the BJP, who will, of course, sitting on different channels, they are also sitting here. They will have these
cabins here. And also importantly, when I asked about the preparations and the things here in BJP office from some of the leaders, they are saying that it will happen post 8 a.m. And meanwhile, I also have BJP's national spokesperson Pratyush Kant with us. Let's ask him, Pratyush ji, what are the expectations that you have for today?
We are going to win the election. It has been a long time for us, and we are going to win the election because this time we have really made the people of Delhi understand the fraud which Kejriwal was playing on there. No development for last 10 years. No roads, no flyovers, schools in terrible condition, mohalla clinics collapsed, all the scams which he has done. I think finally we have made it to the people to understand that this guy was a fraud.
But in your headquarters, we've covered multiple counting days there. We would see that since 5 a.m. onwards, something like jalebis, puris, mithais were being prepared. But here, I don't see anything of that nature happening. Why?
Don't worry, you'll have jalebi with me tonight. And in the afternoon also, we'll have sumptuous lunch. The question here is, it was a big fight. Delhi had to be taken away from Kejriwal. And we have done, all the leaders, especially our workers, have really worked very hard to convey the message. And they have seen Narendra Modi's development politics. So I'm sure people of Delhi this time said enough is enough when Kejriwal was concerned.
Well, Anand, that's what every BJP leader is saying. They're very confident that this time around they will end the drought of 27 years in Delhi. And as far as the numbers go, they are saying that they will cross 45 mark. So I think if all the BJP leaders are saying this, that they've done multiple surveys and the numbers will be beyond 45, then of course we'll have to see once the counting begins, how far actually the numbers go and match up with what their leaders are saying.
Right. Thanks for that, Arun. Let's go across to Anshul. Where are you, Anshul?
So yes, I am at the residence of the of Manoj Tiwari, the former president of Delhi BJP. At this point in time, the mood is somber because as we are seeing across parties at this point, that no one is coming out. There are no celebrations that is happening at this point in time. But yes, once there is more clarity in the numbers, then we can expect some sort of a celebration to start over here. Because remember, Manoj Tiwari has been a very, very strong campaigner for the Bharatiya Janata Party, especially when it comes to this elections this time around, trying to woo the Purvanchali voters, which has a major chunk out here in the national capital. The role of Manoj Tiwari is something that is very, very important at this point. But yes, post 10 a.m., we are expecting that the celebrations or the movement would start over here at his residence as well. But at this point in time, the situation is absolutely normal, and everyone is patiently waiting for that clock to hit the 8 a.m. mark so that the initial trends could come in.
Well, initial trends, counting will begin at 8 o'clock. The trends will come in a little slower and the real numbers will come in, and we will report them from each of these counting centers. We'll get into the entire counting mechanism, how many rounds possible, and by what time can we expect a certain crystallization of the leads. Ananya Bhatnagar also joining us. Ananya, who are you tracking? Where are you?
Well, I'm at the residence of Mr. Ramesh Biduri. If you can see, it's calm here at this particular point of time. But Anand, this seat remains to be very, very important because it is currently the seat of, in fact, the Delhi Chief Minister Atishi, while the other two contenders remains to be the, Ramesh Biduri from the BJP and Alka Lamba too. So, but at the same point of time, a lot of exit polls, a lot of numbers has suggested that, Atishi is somewhere or the other in a little tight spot as far as this particular seat is concerned. So what would be, the fate of the current Delhi Chief Minister, though she says that, she is somebody who is just taking and filling in over Arvind Kejriwal, but still she holds the position of the Chief Minister of the National Capital Territory of Delhi at this particular point of time, one of the top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. But at this particular point of time, I am at Ramesh Biduri's residence, and as you were pointing it out earlier as well, women voters have come out in this particular seat and have voted, at the polling center. So how would and whose vote would count for whether it would go to Ramesh Biduri or Atishi or Alka Lamba is something that would be very, very interesting.
So two three-cornered fights. One is this Kalkaji seat where it is Alka Lamba versus Ramesh Biduri versus Atishi, who's the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi. And the other one, the New Delhi seat, where it's the former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal pitted against Parvesh Verma and Sandeep Dikshit. Smita Prakash with us here in the studio this good early morning, and Nikul Patel also with us. Nikul Patel, has the Congress done enough in Delhi, or could they have done more?
See, we are discussing about the women's voter, and I would like to say over here is that every vote counts. That is the beauty of our democracy. Whether he is rich, poor, whether he belongs to Dalit, or whether he belongs to minority, or whether he belongs to majority. Yeah, we have worked a lot in the election.
Interestingly, sir, Dalit are also part of majority only. But please carry on. Like I said, our electoral lexicons are very, very divisive. Yeah, please.
See, I'm not telling that they are from minority. This is your perception. I'm taking a general way of looking into it.
No, you said Dalit and majority, sir. Dalits are also part of majority, is what I said. That's all. Please go ahead.
I was discussing all the people, rich, poor, minorities, Dalit, and majority. Means all these
that's why I said Dalits are part of the majority only. Dalits are not a separate grouping, is what I said. That's why I said our electoral lexicons need to be corrected. Please carry on. Please carry on.
Always that. Always media wants some controversy from the
No, sir. I'm saying for all of us. Yes, sir. All of us have to unlearn some things and relearn some things. That's what I'm saying. Please carry on.
When you start discussing about that, all people are there, then it was not a personal. Now let it discuss on women.
Go.
Yeah. And I appreciate always, and I learn a lot of it from you people, that how you should speak on national television, and learn. Thank you very much. Secondly,
please go ahead.
When we are talking of women voters, definitely they are the women managers of the house, and they know how each and everything is being managed into the house, right from the light bill, right from their vegetables, right from their grains, foods, and inflation is also playing a role. So it's good they are participating into this democratic process, and they are coming forward to vote. And we appreciate it, because days where women were not being given an equal opportunity in the society, we always think that we should uplift the women and bring it to the level. Congress had tried a lot to give them the fundamental reservation into the local elections by 73rd Amendment. And we always try to uplift everyone who are the weaker section of the society. Secondly, Congress, if you have seen, Dikshit ji is moving around into the field right now, and we always feel that we are the part of all people, and we will be always into the people. And that is what the difference between the BJP, AAP, and Congress you can ever see. Our all people are into the field, and we have worked hard. We expect good results if we are even able to improve a little bit from past results, because every election we have deteriorated in getting the percentage vote share, as what you rightly said, and we accept it. But this time, definitely, under the leadership of Rahul Gandhi ji, Dikshit ji, Alka Lamba ji, Ajay Makhan ji, Delhi people, we try to work more on improving our vote share. Definitely, we are targeting few seats that are very prone to our core voters, and we accept that these people have given faith to our candidates, and we will win those particular seats.
So I'm going to ask Pravesh Verma has spoken. We just listen to it, and then we come back.
शुरू हो जाएंगे थोड़ी देर बाद. कितना कॉन्फिडेंट है दिल्ली में? आज बहुत ही मैं समझता हूं कि अहम दिन है दिल्ली वासियों के लिए, और मैं प्रभु से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि दिल्ली में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बने, एक अच्छी सरकार बने, ताकि हमको प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का साथ मिले और दिल्ली में बहुत अच्छे काम कर सके. तो अभी थोड़ी देर में आपसे बात करेंगे बाकी. सर, क्या कुछ प्रोग्राम रहने वाला है? काउंटिंग सेंटर जाएंगे सर? काउंटिंग सेंटर जाएंगे यहाँ से? अभी तो मैं घर जा रहा हूँ.
123 polling booths in his constituency, and when Pravesh Verma spoke first with us on the day the ballot was cast in the evening, he said, Arvind se pucho wo jeet raha hai ki nahi. When the question Rahul Shankar asked is, aap jeet rahe ki nahi, he said, Arvind se pucho wo jeet raha hai ki nahi. But coming back to the Congress party, quick conversation there, Smita Prakash and Pallavi Ghosh, दो तीन कहावतें हैं. एक है कि अब पछता है क्या हो जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. The other one is कि जब जागो तब सवेरा. What applies to the Congress?
Should I take it, Pallavi? Okay, so what I heard was this thing about empowering women. I think as far as women voters are concerned in this country, I don't think anybody needs to make a claim. We've had universal adult suffrage. We've had women voting in this country. So that aspect of political power in the hands of women has always been there in this country. Yes, as far as Delhi is concerned, there have been instances of crime against women, but women have never felt disempowered as far as their political rights are concerned in this city. Also, it's a microcosm of the country. It's a peculiar situation where we've become a city of migrants of various, there are Purvanchalis, there are migrants who came from West Pakistan. You go back, it's a city of migrants. So it's a melting pot of various cultures. So women being subjugated doesn't occur at all for any woman in this city. As soon as she comes into this city, she's empowered. Another thing which I noticed was all these netas going to the temples in the morning. I mean, it reminds me of the time when we used to take the board exam. Exam wale din zarur dahi chini and go quickly to the mandir and say, please God, aaj to rakh lo hamari izzat. Very interesting. But then, as Pallavi and I were discussing, nobody seems to have ordered laddus and jalebis, especially one party not feeling very enthused today.
Pallavi.
And it's so sad because the Congress leaders are talking about hamara vote percentage badega. No one is talking about कि हमारा seat बढ़ेगा. That is also what, and it's a sad story. I mean, see, on a day of counting, on the day of polling, a day before counting, Rahul Gandhi holding a press conference talking about Maharashtra, Eagle submitting its first report, holding their first meeting on the day of polling, which was on 5th. It is the sound, it looks like you are already creating a ground for losing. Hum harte hain because of the EVM machines. It's so predictable. It is very unfortunate. And when I do meet the Congress workers, and there's still quite a few of them on the ground, they do say कि our top leadership cannot even make up their mind हमें करना क्या है. This confusion about कि हमें लड़ना है कि नहीं लड़ना है. And frankly speaking, of all the Congress candidates, the only one who I really saw out and about was Sandeep Dixit. But I wonder what is going to happen to him after the results are out. Will he be shunted out? Because for quite some time, Sandeep Dixit was actually treated like a pariah within the Congress setup. Because he's barbola, he's outspoken, he took on this. He was a part of the G23 also.
He demands reforms.
Yeah, he demands reforms.
He's asking for the right questions.
He's asking the right questions, seeking the right answers. Part of the G23, not enamored of the Gandhi family. So I wonder what is going to be. Will he be rewarded for at least the effort? Because Rahul Gandhi used to say this. I remember, it's not important to win elections; it's important to fight. That's precisely what Sandeep Dixit has done.
Very NGO style.
Yeah, very NGO.
Just about 2 minutes, 15 seconds till counting gets underway. 8 a.m. the counting centers will open, and then the ballot boxes will be opened, and the whole process will begin. How soon do we see this happening this time around, Smita?
I think 8 a.m. is when the postal ballot gets open. And since the last election, they don't wait for the postal ballots to be over for the counting to start on the other one. So half an hour is the gap. 8 a.m. starts the postal ballots. 8:30 is when the other EVMs are opened. And it takes a little time because the whole VVPAT thing happens. And only then is the announcement made as far as the seats are concerned. But yeah, there was a demand in the 2019 elections or 2024 elections by the opposition to say that let the postal ballots be over. So in the postal ballots in this city state that we have, the bonsai election that you call, in this city states, there are a number of postal ballots simply because there are policemen on duty who have voted. There are government officials who are on election duty, who are on various duties. They have elected via postal ballot. There are also senior citizens who use that facility of voting from home. Theirs also gets counted in this group. So it's not as if we wait for the results of all the postal ballots, but the process begins for half an hour before the EVMs start.
Quickly, if we can, in the next 90 seconds, the Muslim vote. How critical will that be this time around? Because some of the seats that you've picked up, and this was a discussion that was happening, that those seats where women voters are more in percentage are also Muslim-dominated seats.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's a split in the Muslim vote, I think they'll all stack up with the AAP. I think the Muslims realize that they want to ensure that the BJP doesn't come to power, so they'll work strategically. And wherever the AAP candidate looks the strongest, in the strongest position to defeat the BJP, they'll go with that. And I don't think that overall the Muslim vote is going to fragment that much. Yes, there has been talk that, look, the AAP kept a studied silence during the anti-CA riots, etc., when Muslims were expecting some support. They didn't come out. But net, I think the Muslim will vote strategically. But I'm still telling you, it's the woman voter that we really need to be looking at. It's the women vote that is going to carry this election, determine it and decide.
Counting gets underway because the real numbers on the live result hub here on the News 18 network as we hit 8 a.m. on the clock. Saturday, the 8th of February, 8 a.m. This is when the gates for the counting centers will open. We'll try and go across to our reporters who are at various counting centers. Sharon was tracking Sandeep Dixit at one of the counting centers in New Delhi. There are other netas, other reporters who are also looking at various counting centers which will be set up, which have been set up so that this entire counting process for all 70 seats, that's already beginning. The process has begun. Shortly, we will see the real numbers from the News 18 live result hub, and they will start also manifesting here on the magic wall next to Zaka. So in just about 5-7 minutes from now, it will be between the live result hub and Zaka Jacob, and of course the screen here, the buzzing screen here on the CNN News 18 channel, right at the bottom where these numbers will start stacking up. Around 8:10, 8:15, the first of the postal ballots we should expect. Till then, if you are seeing numbers already, it's not possible that you open the door and the counting has begun and the numbers are clapped. So at 8 a.m., there will be no numbers. The numbers will come around 8:05, 8:10 because the counting centers have to open. The process of counting has to begin, and that takes about 5, 7, 10 minutes. So that's where we are. Counting has begun. We'll try and see how many of our reporters are present outside some of the counting centers. And as we see the gates opening and the visuals coming in via ANI and PTI, then we will put them out. I saw that smile on Smita Prakash's face.
Yeah. One point I want to make is, many people dismiss the postal votes to say that it doesn't really count or anything like that. But in the 2019 elections, they actually impacted on many seats. I think there were about 9 seats, but 9 seats where they actually had an impact, where the victory margins were very little. So if it's under 5,000, where the victory margins are under 5,000, rule of thumb, there the postal votes will matter. So we can't dismiss the first half hour in case people think कि चलो चाय वाय पी के फिर 8:30 को आएंगे ना. Start from now.
Start from now, and सब आस्था, सबने हाथ जोड़ रखे हैं, सब भगवान के सामने हाथ जोड़ रखे हैं, सब everybody is praying. So it's a good thing. In fact, the gods will be saying, let there be elections every day because more people pray to us more often, especially among the netas. But Akash is tracking Pravesh. So Sharma ji, where is Verma ji?
Anand, he was here just a while back, and he's again very confident because he's saying that he is going to win, and in fact, the margin is going to be very high. In some time from now, he's expected to leave from his house to the counting center. We are learning that counting has started, in fact, at many centers. 8 a.m. was the time, and in some time from now, we'll start seeing the trends. 56% was the voter turnout, around 109,000 voters in New Delhi. High-profile seat because of the fact that Sandeep Dixit, Arvind Kejriwal, and Pravesh Verma, are contesting from that particular seat. We have seen an intensified campaign from all 3 candidates. We have seen that how Pravesh Verma and Arvind Kejriwal were involved in, several sort of political war of words. But then today is the final day. We are going to see results in some time from now, and trends will start emerging in some time from now.
Right. We'll try and also connect with reporters who are outside our counting centers, and for the first set of pictures that come in from the counting centers to show the counting process getting underway, we'll bring you those pictures, and basis after that, only once the process starts with postal ballots and then the EVMs will these numbers come in. But they may come in thick and fast. Once they start coming in, they may come in thick and fast. Many believe by about 10:30, 11, if it's a one-way election, the numbers will start consolidating real fast. If it's a tight fight, then maybe we are in for the long haul. Although many believe that will not be the case. If Delhi will decide decisively, especially because it's now a 2-horse race, as many believe. Managing editor, Money Control, Nalin Mehta is with us. He's the one who I keep quoting, who coined this term of bonsai state. But Nalin, kiske control mein Delhi hai?
I think, that we'll know in the next hour or so, or hour and a half or 2 hours or so. But I think what's very clear is that the stakes in this battle, to my mind, are much higher for AAP than for BJP. See, BJP has put everything at their disposal and thrown everything. They've thrown the kitchen sink at this election, right? But for AAP, this is an existential battle. If the exit polls are right, and if Arvind Kejriwal loses and AAP goes out of power, this will have a much wider ripple effect on national politics, on the politics of the India alliance, but also on the future of AAP itself. It'll have an impact on the Punjab government, it'll have an impact in Gujarat as I go for further, and on Kejriwal's future himself, because as the icon of middle class purity, the icon of honesty, and all of the brand Kejriwal will get affected very significantly.
Right. It's also about credibility, as you mentioned. And these numbers today on Result Day Live are also about credibility. Two pictures, one from the Live Result Hub, where Griha is joining us live, and Anvit from the counting center of Maharani Bagh. Anvit, has the counting center open? Because some networks, some channels are already flashing numbers.
Yeah, see, some vehicles of election observers have entered this counting center. We are at Marani Bagh, where also a short while ago Atishi had reached, and elaborate arrangements have been made. Election observers, at least 2 to 3 vehicles, have already entered the center, and we are being told that it has already begun, and you can see the staff is still coming in, and the elaborate arrangements of the police that have been made, even inside, it is a good network of CCTV cameras that cover this counting center, and there are Jangpura, Kasturba Nagar, Kalkaji and Okla are the areas of which the votes will be counted here. This a short while ago CM Atishi had also reached here, but she initially, when we spoke to her, she said that she is expecting that Aam Aadmi Party will form the government.
So the counting centers have opened.
However,
The
as we have been saying,
the process of counting has begun, Anvit. But by what time are we expecting the first set of numbers? Is there a screen outside there that will start showing the numbers at these counting centers, or will there be an announcement made that the process is officially beginning? Because at the Live Result Hub, the phones are not buzzing. Griha.
Anand, and you're right to point that out. And I would, in fact, get you a real picture, because here, right now, the Live Result Hub is well armored. It's equipped with its volunteers. The phones have not yet started to ring because the postal ballots have just about opened up. So we would like to mention here that if at all you're seeing the numbers elsewhere, they are, in fact, mere hearsay, or they are inflated numbers. They are not the real numbers. Here's where you get the real numbers. And let me get you a technical detail on how do we manage this at Live Results Hub. We have
Okay,
which are in fact already begun to show the numbers. What is happening here?
So, see, we have a system in place wherein we have reporters at all the counting centers in New Delhi. There are 19 counting centers. We have almost 22 reporters who are right there right at the moment, and they will update directly to this live result hub, wherein we have a system in place. We have all the districts and all the constituencies, all the candidates' name entered into this system. The moment the first phone call rings in, and we'll get the first trends. But as of now, we have seen on the other channels, these figures are not real. Some channels are showing almost 17 seats, trends on the 17 seats, but actually these are not the real figures. Real figures only News 18 gets you first.
Yeah, because it's actually impossible. If the postal ballots have just about opened up, it's just 8:07.
Yeah.
How is it possible that the numbers have actually begun to trickle in? Because we would only get to know by 8:10, post 8:10 maybe?
See, there are almost 3 seats wherein we expect the results at the earliest. These are the Delhi Kent, the Chandni Chowk, and there is one more seat that the number of votes casted were very small, like less than 1 lakh. So we expect first trend to be very, very soon here. But the system in place, we have been doing this for the last so many years, and we are getting the results first and accurate. So we ask your viewers to stay tuned to Network 18 so that we get the first, the moment we get the first result, it will directly reflected on your TV screen.
Absolutely. So you heard that, Anand. News
Right.
18 Live Result Hub is where you get the most accurate numbers. So do not trust any other place. This is where
I can
you
only
need to
say all our other friends across the other networks and all, सब जगह घोड़े दौड़ाएंगे, बाकी eventually numbers यहीं पर आएंगे. So the numbers that will be here on our screen is where all other numbers will eventually come and settle. So they're all taking you on a royal ride with respect to numbers, because the numbers have not yet started. Counting or the postal ballot process has just begun. Even as we have Abhijit Majumdar and Chetan Bhagat joining us here.
Just to explain
in
the whole
the
process,
studio.
whatever round of counting is done, the EC officials have to show that to every political party representative, get their sign off, and then only declare that round of counting. So, channels, as the Chief Election Commissioner said, 8 बजे counting शुरू होती है, 8:01 पे आप result already दिखाने शुरू करते हैं. That's fake. That is absolutely fake.
And I live in front of a counting center. There are 19 in this city. And the security is tremendous. It's quite incredible. I've seen elections taking place even in America where nothing like this happens. But it's such tight security. At I think 4:30 or 4:45 onwards, the announcements were made that the election observers can enter, but leave your phone outside. So they have a counter where you can leave your cell phone. Even cell phones are not allowed. So there's no way that these results are coming out from the counting centers if at all somebody is flashing them, because it's very tight security. There's CRPF, there's paramilitary all over the place. Even the buildings around the counting centers, there is security forces on the terraces of those houses watching. There are drones out there. So there's no leakage of information that comes in via air, water, or land.
True. Manish Sisodia has just stepped out. He's also entering a counting center. He's not speaking right now. He's just walked in. He's walked in with the papers, and only he has been allowed. The media has also not been allowed there. But we've got Sharon joining us. Yes, Sharon, where are you?
Anand, I'm at Gold Market Counting Center where Sandeep Dikshit is present, and as one of our panelists was saying about the security and how tight the security is usually in the counting center, I just want to show you how tight the security over here is. On your right side, there is CRPF force, and then there is Delhi police also. And like she also pointed out that there is a adjacent school that is also there. There also there is security on top of that building. So very tight security as far as this counting center is concerned, because this is not just counting the votes of New Delhi constituency. If I ask my camera person Umesh to show you, this particular counting center is actually counting the votes of Patel Nagar, Rajendra Nagar, RK Puram, Greater Kailash, Delhi, Cant, and New Delhi. And that is why the candidates from New Delhi constituency, as of now, Sandeep Dikshit is inside. Apart from that,
all right,
Saurabh
first
Bhardwaj,
leads have come in. First leads have come in. They're showing on the screen. Let's go to the News 18 live result hub. Griha, where is this lead coming in?
Yes, it's Najafgarh, Anand. We have Shailendra ji, from where is it coming in, and who has the lead here?
So we have the first call from Najafgarh. Our reporter there, he has updated us that on the Najafgarh seat, we have the BJP candidate who is leading at the moment.
Najafgarh, it's BJP. That is leading here, Anand. So the first leads, BJP gets it.
Neelam Pehelwan of the BJP is leading in Najafgarh. It was a seat won by the Aam Aadmi Party 5 years ago. You have another lead. This is New Delhi constituency. Parvesh Verma of the BJP is leading in the New Delhi constituency against former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. 2 leads have come. So far, 4 leads have come. All right, 2 leads have come. One from New Delhi constituency, Parvesh Verma leading, and the other from Najafgarh in the outskirts of Delhi, Neelam Pehelwan of the BJP leading.
So early leads, postal ballots being counted. Rao Shankar coming to you. There,
of course,
so there is RSS and someone who's got quite deeply networked with the RSS sitting right next to you. So, but to the 2 gentlemen, good morning. Yes.
He's in a black shirt. Very quickly, just wanted to say, a facetious remark, Abhijit.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Look, just very quickly, this is one of the 3 larger area-wise constituencies in Delhi, and this has a significant number of Jats, Najafgarh. But, again, coming down to this number, there are 3 lakh more women that have voted from last time, right? And they're spread across 40 constituencies. How is this woman vote going to translate on the ground?
There's one more from Jangpura. The BJP candidate there is leading, Mr. Marwa. Tarvinder Singh Marwa is the first-time candidate.
Who switched
He's
to this
against
particular
Sisodia,
seat just a month ago. There was a lot. Now, remember, at least a third of the AAP's total deployment of MLAs are either fresh faces or people who've changed seats. So there is a significant anti-incumbency that they have sensed. But again, as I'm saying, if this vote is going to be within 4 or 5%, it could be a long day for us, because I'm telling you that the AAP is going to keep a hawk eye. They will constantly say that ye ilake mein aapne hamara pura vote nahi count kiya, wahan par aapne nahi kiya, machine yahan thandi pad gayi. This is going to go on through, because they've already, as you saw, Mr. Sisodia, went straight into the counting center. He is not interested in anything else.
Very, very early days, but the former Chief Minister, Mr. Kejriwal, former Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Sisodia, both trailing. One lead for AAP from Malviya Nagar, where Somnath Bharti, the sitting MLA, he's leading. So one lead for AAP, 3 leads for the BJP.
Not a very happy early
Morning.
trend for the Aam Aadmi Party. You know, I think Mr. Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal, they would have liked to start with a bang right from the beginning. But it's interesting that Jangpura should have been a cakewalk for the Aam Aadmi Party. And if Mr. Sisodia, and many exit polls also showed that his situation is kind of wobbly, that really is a pointer that Aam Aadmi Party should have got its act together, given him probably a safe seat. Jangpura was considered a safe seat. Strange that even from the word go,
And
his
if this
situation is
election,
not happy.
Smita Prakash, if this election is going to come down to credibility, the more honest, right, then I'm afraid this is not looking good.
Yeah.
If that is the perception that is dominated,
yeah.
Chetan
This
Sharma.
is a brand Kejriwal election, like basically the value of brand Kejriwal before and after, because BJP has won in Lok Sabha 7 out of 7, twice, right? This is a very BJP loving state, clearly. But when assembly elections come, they vote for AAP. Why? For one guy, Arvind Kejriwal.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't do it now, that means they're back to like, okay, let's just become, you know, he's not who we thought he is, or he's not the same anymore. And we can discuss all day why. But I think it is a test of brand Kejriwal.
What if it flips?
We've
What
got
if the
one more.
BJP
We've got
Okay,
one more lead from
coming.
Burari, again in the outskirts.